Welcome everyone back to weekly weather updates, and in today's video we're going to have a look at the latest from the live radar. Then we'll run through the UKMO Operational Run, have a look at the precipitation and temperature over the next 5 days, and then we'll have a look at the medium to long range forecast, look at the GFS, GM, ECMWF and the ensembles, as it does look like we could be seeing a real massive big sort of warm plume of air, hot plume of air come up from the south in around a week's time. It looks likely now some very, very hot air for this time of year heads up into northwest Europe. It does look like from quite a few runs it does hit the UK for a few days before breaking down. So not only could it start giving temperatures into the low 30s, maybe even mid 30s, it could also bring major thunderstorms. Now it is still 7-8 days away, so there is uncertainty, but we'll have a look in detail at what sort of pressure patterns and what sort of air masses we could be seeing with this. Just remember, if you enjoy my videos, make sure to like and subscribe, and remember to follow me on Twitter as well, the link's in the description. So if we do start on the live radar, you can see for many eastern areas and sort of central southern areas it's really quite dry. Even into parts of northern England, most of Wales and parts of southern Scotland, it's dry as well. However, you can see plenty of heavy thundery showers into parts of Ireland, Northern Ireland and parts of western and northern Scotland. And this is because of the sort of energy associated with that tropical storm Alex, which is to our northwest, and it's giving a widespread blustery day to quite a few areas, to pretty much everywhere. Really seeing the strongest winds in the northwest though, and is accompanied by these heavy thundery showers. So they are moving through quickly, sort of from southwest to northeast, but they are pretty heavy, and you can see some reds in there showing some torrential downpours with thunder and lightning. And this is going to be the pattern over the next sort of 5 days, with warmer and drier conditions further south and eastwards, cooler and wetter windier conditions further northwards and westwards. It's not going to be an absolute washout by any means, but there's going to be quite a few showers around and could be some persistent weather fronts at times as well. South and east, not exclusively out of precipitation, but it doesn't look as anywhere near as likely as further northwards and westwards. So if we do have a look at the UKMO Operational Run, have a look at the precipitation and temperature. Now you can see over the course of this afternoon, you can see those precipitation in the north and west, much drier further south and eastwards, and as we head into tomorrow, a very similar sort of pattern. Yes, those showers do start to drift a bit further eastwards, especially in the morning and southwards as well. So could be some widespread shower activity there, but it does peter out towards the afternoon. Many areas are dry, with persistent rain into the west of Scotland and further northwards across England, parts of southern Scotland and most of the Republic of Ireland and Northern Ireland have just got showers and some pop-up clouds as well. Not too bad though in the south. As we head towards Sunday, you can see, again, very similar picture. Showers in the north, especially across Northern Ireland, Northern England and Scotland. Across the Republic of Ireland and most of England and Wales, it's pretty dry and sunny. A very nice day on Sunday again. And as we head into Monday, a bit thicker cloud more widely through northern and western areas, and precipitation, persistent precipitation pushing into Northern Ireland and parts of western Scotland. But elsewhere, it is dry. And very similarly into Sunday, persistent rain pushing into the north and west, dry further south and eastwards. So you can see this big split: precipitation, cloud and cooler temperatures further northwards and westwards, towards the south and the east, much drier and warmer. So if we do have a look at those max temperatures, you can see this afternoon temperatures peaking in around that 20. Oh, does look like it's unfortunately doing yesterday's run there. I don't know why the max temperatures are doing that. If we actually do just go and change that quickly and have a look at the 3 o'clock run from yesterday. Yeah, so have a look at the 3 o'clock run from yesterday. So it is briefly out of date by about 12 hours, but it doesn't look like the 3 a.m. run from this morning has run. But if we do have a look at the afternoon temperatures today, you can see widely low 20s, 20 to 23 degrees, really quite warm indeed for many southern and eastern areas. Widespread warmth with this, not just localised, but really quite widespread. As we head into Saturday, again another widespread warm day, 20 to 24 degrees across most of England and Wales. Really quite warm once again, but under that cloud and precipitation, mid-teens sort of being the peak. Through Sunday, once again, another very warm day for many, 20 to 22 degrees, a bit more cloud around perhaps, so keeping those temperatures down by a degree or two, but still really quite warm. And similar as we head into Monday, again, widely in around that 20-degree mark. And as we head into Tuesday, you can see once again getting to the mid-20s, 23 to 25 degrees possible across quite a few areas. And that's only going to be on the rise towards the middle and end of next week, when we can really start to see that hot weather build. So if we do have a look at the latest from the GFS, look at the 6 o'clock run. Yeah, now you can see the ex-tropical system to our northwest, just giving blustery conditions and heavy showers. That potentially does move away. And we go into quite a westerly flow, low pressure further northwards and westwards, high pressure further south and eastwards, and that's why we're going to see those warmer temperatures in the south and east. But as we head into the weekend, you see low pressure out in the Atlantic, high pressure towards near continent, and it does bring a southerly flow, a very hot plume of air for the end of next working week. And accompanied by that, we do have showers and precipitation with that. But you can see that breaks down very quickly into low pressure, sort of sits over the top of the UK, very deep actually, quite strong ice bars, and that would be very, very unsettled and much cooler. And because there's going to be a massive breakdown in temperatures, could be severe thunderstorms within that. Beyond that, we stay very unsettled with low pressure in and around. Now, I must say this is long in the future, so it's very likely to be uncertain, and anything beyond day 10 very much is likely to change, but very interesting seeing that from the GFS. Very hot initially, before turning very, very unsettled and much cooler. You have a look at those 850 HPA temperatures, you see this big plume of very hot air from the south, 15 degree isotherm getting in, maybe even the 20 degree isotherm moving in before we see that very cool, unsettled conditions take over. And again, you can see that even better with the temperature deviation. 10 to 12 degrees above average to around 4 to 6 degrees below average, or even cooler than that in the space of around 24 hours. And along that dividing line will be severe thunderstorms. So if we do now have a look at the GM run, which has been very hot this morning, it does hold off that low pressure in the Atlantic a bit longer, so it does go even hotter. So if we do run through, you can see westerly flow, high pressure to the south and east. As we head towards the middle to end of next week, we see that low pressure out in the Atlantic push up that southerly flow, very, very hot indeed towards Friday, and the low pressure tries to push in, but doesn't fully push in, and we stay generally under higher pressure. Yes, it's not quite as warm, because the flow's coming in from the west, but it is drier, with still a thundery breakdown, but not an absolute washout like the GFS was showing. You can see that upper air temperatures incredibly hot. The 20 degree isotherm envelops the south and the east of the country. You look at that temperature deviations, incredibly hot. 12 degrees above average widely across England and Wales. And if we do zoom in to the United Kingdom, look, now you can see this is midnight on Saturday. We're getting towards mid-20s, and in the day, unfortunately, we can only go to sort of midday to 6 p.m. and you can see widely 30 degrees and most likely be 33 degrees peak. And you see the day before that getting up towards low 30s, 30 to 32 degrees. And again, these are low resolution runs, especially in the longer term, so it could add a couple degrees to this. You can see across northern France 39 degrees, so most likely we'll be breaking 40 degrees in North France, and I wouldn't be surprised if we broke 35 degrees somewhere through central England. So incredibly hot from this GM run. Again, it is one run. There are big uncertainties with this, but it does look like a very hot air mass is heading our way. How much we tap into it and how long it lasts and how hot we do get is going to be the big uncertainty. Now, if we look at the ECMWF, see how that does compare. Again, low pressure over to our north, generally a westerly flow, and you can see generally high pressure starting to build to our east, low pressure out in the Atlantic, and we start to see that southerly flow by next weekend. Very hot plume before low pressure takes over. Very similar to the GFS, we get very unsettled with a northerly flow under quite a deep air of low pressure. If we do run it back though, have a look at those air masses. For end of next week, you can see real hot, 20 to 25 degree isotherm getting in, very hot indeed, extremely hot. And again, you look at that temperature deviation, widely 12 degrees above average, incredible heat in northwest Europe. And again, we go very hot, but transitions to much cooler conditions very quickly. So yeah, we do only see that hot air for maybe 24 to 48 hours, so a couple days sort of heat wave before it turns much cooler once again and more unsettled, with big thunderstorms likely as well, because you can see back down to sort of 0 degrees at 850 HPA, back from 22 to 23 degrees at 850 HPA. And you look at those 2 meter temperatures, you can see widely high 20s, and again, that is middle, sort of that 6 p.m. getting to high 20s, most likely will be into the low 30s. And again, these are lower resolution, especially in the longer term, so most likely we'll be getting up into the low 30s once we get high resolution models on this. Again though, all depends on the timings, where this hot air comes during the day, how long it lasts, and how quickly it does get swept away. And of course, how much of that hot air, the severity of that hot air, how far northwards it does get, because that is the big uncertainty. It does look like though this flow is likely, but as I said, just how much of it does reach the UK. So if we do finish the video by just have a look at the ensembles, you can see this really well reflected around average over the next sort of 3 to 5 days, and then we go very much above average in around sort of 6-7 days time, around Thursday next week until the weekend. You can see most of the ensemble members in around that 10-degree isotherm, which is mid to high 20s, but some getting towards the 15 and 20-degree isotherm on this GFS run. That is into the high 20s, low to mid 30s. Incredibly hot. The hottest, I think, 850 HPA temperature we've ever seen in the country is in around that sort of 22-23 degree mark, and we saw almost 40 degrees from that. So not quite on that scale, but incredibly hot nonetheless, and would be likely into the 30s. And you can see some shower activity with it, most likely thunder activity, but it's the amount of ensemble members up here. But we do see a sharp decrease below average very quickly and around that 18th to 20th of June mark. So turning much more unsettled there, and cooler, most likely with that low pressure running in, but it's how quickly that low pressure runs in. I think the operational run is much cooler than the ensemble mean, so definitely on the cooler and fresher side of that ensemble chart. So if we do have a look at the actually 2 meter temperatures just temporarily as well, you can see getting to the mid to high 20s, if not 30 degrees there from the operation, from the ensembles, and the average ensemble member is towards that 24-25 degree mark. So very hot ensemble runs this morning. If we do look at the ECMWF ensembles for the midnight run, again, a massive rise. Even hotter ensemble members here. You'd expect some more outliers, some hotter runs, because there are 50 ensemble members, but it is incredibly hot, including the ECMWF Operational Run, getting into the low to mid 20s at 850 HPA, which is incredibly hot. As I said, the record is somewhere around that sort of 23 degree mark. So incredibly hot upper air temperatures here. And you can see most of the time members are well above average. Precipitation does increase when we cool down, and you can see that real vertical drop from the ECMWF run, almost a 20 degree temperature drop at 850 HPA. Most likely will be accompanied by major thunderstorms. Probably a school line sort of system, incredible rainfall rates, massive lightning would be likely in this scenario, but it is something we do need to keep an eye on. And again, if we just have a look at the 2 meter temperatures with that incredibly hot mid to high 20s, and maybe even to the mid 30s potentially there as well. It is something we need to keep an eye on. We will have a look at it in a lot more detail over the next few days as it comes into the shorter time frame, as the models start to sort of converge on the exact scenario. But for the time being, make sure you do enjoy the sort of relatively warm weather if you're in the south and east at the moment, getting towards the low 20s, because it could be turning oppressively hot maybe towards the end of next working week and into next weekend. It is just hints at this stage. There are a lot of support for it, but it can flip very quickly. We've seen scenarios like this flip very quickly, so I wouldn't take this too literally at this stage, but at the moment this is the best indication we do have. So anyway, thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you again for another video soon.